So we started our fast. Beginning of New Year, me and my church, we always do a fast, and I'm really fasting for really myself. I've been feeling like in a hole. I've been in a big hole recently. Fasting for that, and I'm fasting for revival. You know, everybody wants revival, but nobody wants to do the things required for revival. Nobody wants to get on fire for God. Everybody wants to be on fire for God, but hangs out with fire extinguishers. That's what I got. I got some Nutri-Grain bars. We got our whole grain chips, pistachios, sunflower seeds. Right now we're about to go eat a salad, and I want to talk about how to hit a restart button. You know, us as Christians, when we give our lives to Jesus Christ, obviously we came to Jesus because nothing else was working, because we felt lost, we felt lonesome, we felt broken. We ran to Jesus because people said Jesus was this amazing thing, and we read it for ourselves, and we actually learned who Jesus was. And the one thing that a lot of us find is hard to do as Christians, as new beings, is to walk in the forgiveness that He gives us. Like, for example, God, you ask God for forgiveness of a certain sin, He forgives you of that sin, but it's still hard to look past that sin because that's how people know you. That's what people are always going to remind you from. Hey, Adam, aren't you this person that did this and did that? Or, hey, little Johnny, didn't you go sleep with Sarah last week? And people always have something to say about you, no matter if you're forgiven or you're not forgiven. The hardest part is hitting a reset button, and it's something that a lot of us, we need to learn how to hit a restart button. Take me, for example, not only in walking with forgiveness, but say you play a sport. Say I play baseball, right? If I strike out, and if I carry that strikeout into my next at-bat or the rest of the game, I'm gonna do horrible because I'm thinking about that at-bat. I wanna get it back and this and that. But if you learn how to hit that reset button, you're gonna wire your mind, and you're gonna think positive things that, like, hey, I'm better than that. I know what I did wrong. I gotta do this. And the same way we do that, we need to look at our walk with Jesus Christ as an at-bat. Really, you're always trying to do better than you were the other time. I always pray, God, help me to be better tomorrow than I was today. Help me to be better the next day than I was tomorrow. Help me to always increase myself 1% better. But you can't get better at something unless you reset and you restart and you take a breather and you just take a moment to look at everything that you have. A lot of people don't necessarily like to reset, but it's a necessary thing that you need in order to move on to a next level. Success and failure, like, you can't succeed until you fail. You won't know how good the sunlight is unless you've been in the rain. And it all connects, it all goes back. And right now, as you know, we're fasting. I invite you to fast with us too, because it's time we get hungry for the Word of God. Like, it's time that we actually put into action the things that we're thinking, the things God's showing us, the things we're continuously saying. It's time that we actually make these ideas a reality and we actually attack it like never before. Like me, like, I love doing YouTube. I love watching YouTube videos. I love videography. I love photography. I love making videos and talking to you guys. I love doing this, even if I get 5 viewers or 2,000 viewers. I love it. It's something I do, and I always get these ideas. Sometimes I'll feel really good about recording, and then other times I feel a little awkward. I feel like, man, what am I doing? But if you love to do something, do it. Make sure it's God's will, though. Like, make sure you're doing it for God and not in vain. Make sure you're doing it for the glory of God and not for the glory of yourself. Everything you do should be for Jesus Christ. And I guess that can be a part of the reset steps. When you reset, make sure what you're doing it for, who you're doing it for, why you're doing it in the first place. It's like, Adam, why do you play baseball? Adam, why do you do YouTube? Adam, why do you go speak at these schools? And I can ask you these questions. Why are you watching this video? Why do you do what you do? Why do you work the job you work? There's always a why behind it, and you can always figure out what that why is when you reset, when you restart. A lot of people don't like to restart or reset because it makes them feel less powerful, less human, I guess. I'm not talking about falling back into sin type of reset, like, because our Bible says, the Bible says that we have come too far to continue to keep going back. Like, we know Jesus too well to keep going back. Why would you want to go back? But say you did fall. Okay, reset. Ask God for forgiveness and then move on. The only person that battles yourself is you. The only people that continuously hinder your mind and continuously reminds you of the sins that you've committed, the person you were. Most of the time, it's not even your friends or your family, it's yourself. You just don't realize it because you're used to living that life. Like, you're used to blaming yourself, and you gotta cut it off. Like, you gotta get rid of all that hate, all the things that the enemy is trying to tell you in your mind. You gotta get rid of all of it. You gotta cut it off, and you gotta know the difference between God's voice and other people's voice. Around 2 to 3 days later, I haven't felt like picking up a camera. I haven't wanted to pick up a camera. I haven't felt like doing anything really, but I have been doing things. I've been busy, and every night at my church we've been having prayer meetings with the fast, and I actually just got done with my fast. There's some people that's still doing theirs, but I just finished my fast. On topic with the video, we're talking about how to reset. We have to learn how to reset ourselves when we ask for forgiveness. When you come out here on the field, you gotta reset your mind. When you go out there and love those people, you gotta reset your mind. You gotta do things in a certain perspective that'll only make it right in that area. You know what I mean? Kind of more aside of a moral. Like, you have good morals and you have bad morals, and it's almost like every single thing that Jesus tells us to do in the Bible. Love your neighbor as you would love yourself. Do to them as you would want done to you. Love the people that hate you. Basically just love. Those are good morals. And to have good morals, you gotta reset yourself and get rid of the hatred, get rid of the sin. But at the end of the day, it's a want to thing. You gotta want to get rid of that hatred. You gotta want to get rid of the sin. You gotta want to get rid of the hardened, black heart that we once had. Me and my buddy are about to run before baseball practice. I need to get back into running. I've been getting gassed at practice. It's a blessing. You know, it's a blessing to come out here to be able to practice a sport that I love, like a sport that's so beautiful, and you can just enjoy it with the people that you've always been around. Like, life's bigger than a sport. Life's bigger than a job. Life's bigger than chasing money or fame and popularity. Like, life's about, first of all, it's about living for God, glorifying Him, and doing everything for the glory of God. But right behind that, it's about making the most out of everything you have. It's about seizing the day. It's about attacking the day. It's about using the gifts and the opportunities and the blessings that God has gave you. And I've really been needing to do that a little bit more. I'm blessed that one of my friends came back into my life, and he's pushing me to better myself. You think your limit is when it starts to get hard, but you're so much more than that. Like, you're so much more than your benched out max. Like, you're so much more than a letter grade. You're so much more than a payroll. You're more than the things you think you are. If you think that you're absolutely nothing, then that's what the world is gonna throw at you. Like you're absolutely nothing. The devil's gonna hear you say that, and then he's actually gonna make you feel like you're absolutely nothing. There's power in the tongue. You speak good things over your life. Even though they don't look the best, you still speak those good things over your life. Even though God doesn't look like He's there with you, I promise you He's there with you. And all of it starts with really calming down, resetting, and going back to that first why, to that first love, that first time you met God, the first breath that you breathe in a new life that He gave us. Like, everything connects to the beginning. In the beginning, God created. In the beginning, but we forget about the beginning because that's when we were the weakest. When you ask God for forgiveness, you don't necessarily want to go back and remind yourself of all the sins that you've done, because you're forgiven and you're dead to that sin. The same way that Jesus died on that cross is the same way we died to sin, and the same way that He rose from the dead is the same way that we have a new life. Go read Romans chapter 6. Don't fall back, because people are going to remind you, your mind's going to remind you, and it's always going to be there. But we know, because we're children of God, we know what our future looks like. So you don't have to worry. I really just want to get on here to tell you to calm down, reset, and stop worrying. Worrying is basically an excuse to not trust God. If you say you trust God, you say you love God, then you wouldn't worry so much, because you know it's in His hands, and I promise you, it's in His hands.